मोस्टली हमें मार्केट को ओके mainly microeconomics is divided to basically consists of three parts. One is the consumer behavior, second part is the producer behavior, then third part is the market. Then after that advanced stages ଆସିଛି तो मेन ये ताकर स्टोन होची ए तीनटा चैप्टर कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर प्रोड्यूसर बिहेवियर दे टुगेदर कंबाइन एट द मार्केट टुडे we will basically focus on consumer behavior. So today's course overview is introduction to consumer theory, then consumer preference, it's basically axioms. Then we go to indifference curve analysis and its marginal rate of substitutions. Then utility function and representation, budget constraint, consumer optimization, master demand function, and income substitution effect. So basically, a class as you know, its name is UGC NET. So I am assuming that those who are attending the class, they have basic understanding of BA level, graduation level microeconomics. So that I'm not going to at the foundation level. So ଏତିକି ମୁଁ assume କରିପାରିବେ. So accordingly classes ଟା ଆଗକୁ ଆଗକୁ forward କରିବେ. It is okay? Can I assume this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Clear. Let's start. So though I think the central question in economics is how do rational economic agents make choices to maximize their well-being subject to constraint? You know, as we know that the basic fundamental problems of economics arises because we have certain objectives, certain goals, but we don't have free choices of resources. We have some constraint, some limited resources, and we have to using that limited resources. We have to choose how should I behave so that my objective is optimize my if I am a consumer to optimize or maximize my preferences. That's why because of this choice problem, sometimes we call economics is a science of choice. Today we will deal with how the rational consumer chooses the bundle that will optimize its preferences or satisfactions. So this consumer problem is based on these three pillars. That is the preference. Preference is the consumer states and ranking over all the alternatives. He has alternative of goods and services available to the consumer. Now he have to the consumer has to show his preference. That means which one is more preferred, which one is less preferred, and which are equally preferred. So on. Second comes the constraint region. That is, the constraint shows that the consumer cannot freely move over his preference zone. The consumer has limited resources, that is the income, and given the prices of the commodities. This together, income and prices, will set a zone that beyond that, the consumer cannot move. Then come the choices. You have to choose so that you will be able to optimize his preferences. Mainly these pillars are traditionally first developed by Marshall, that we basically call it is a cardinal utility analysis. After that, certain drawbacks have been there in the cardinal analysis. That's why Hicks Allen came with the ordinal analysis. Then it is again developed by Samuelson, known as reveal preference theory. Now the modern approach, preference-based approach, mainly developed by Devereux and Arrow. And we find its application in demand analysis, in pricing behavior, how the market performs, etc. If we compare, that is the cardinal utility analysis with ordinary utility analysis. This is basic, the name suggests what is cardinal utility. The utility that is measured cardinally. That means the utility can be measured in numbers where we can apply the mathematical tools like greater than, less than, addition, subtraction, all the tools can be applied. I can add two utilities, I can subtract the utilities. That is cardinal approach. But ordinary approach, slightly different. It just say that we can order the bundles. We cannot say that two utility can be added. It just say that this bundle gives me more utility, that bundle gives me less utility. So mainly we cannot use plus minus sign of mathematics in ordinal analysis. We can only use either greater than or less than or equal signs of mathematics while dealing with ordinal utility analysis. And as you know that it seems cardinal utility has certain drawbacks, which to certain extent is solved in the ordinal utility analysis. Ordinal utility analysis, which is developed by Hicks, and the cardinal utility developed by Marshall. Now, to understand the consumer behavior, consumer choice problem, we have to deal with two tools. One is the preference, second one is the budget constraint. Okay. To understand the preferences, we have first thing is we have to understand what is consumption bundle. Consumption bundle in economics represented as capital X is a set. The set contains a bundle. So bundles is the combination of different goods. For simplicity, if we assume that we have only two commodities, X1, X2, then we'll deal with a consumption plane. That is consumption bundle, X bundle, capital X belongs to R2 plus dimension, two-dimensional analysis. If we assume that more than two commodities, say n commodity, then we will be very complicated diagrammatic representation. We can deal with this complicated analysis with using only mathematical set theory. We cannot use diagrams. So for diagram, we'll deal with two dimensions. If there is requirement of higher dimensions, then we'll simply use the set theory. Okay. You get the consumption set. What is the consumption set? All the possible collection of bundles is known as consumption set. As all the commodities are measured in positive numbers, we cannot measure negative numbers. That's why the dimension should be plus, not minus. Here, a consumer, when it says that a consumer is explaining his preferences, we assume that this consumer is a rational consumer. Now, how do you know the consumer is a rational or not? We have to look at his behavior. If three conditions are satisfied in his preference behavior, then only we can say the consumer is a rational consumer. Okay? First one is that consumer, at least, which is below that. Consumer is a, sorry, just a minute, where is this? It's very below. No, not given here. Okay, so it's better for me. Let me tell something about. Okay, this one is. Okay, so let me something more about the set theory. We deal with the consumption bundle. The set is the consumption bundle set. Then comes to the price set. Price set in economics are always measured in positive numbers. So that's why if two commodity, it is a two-dimensional Rn2 R2 plus plus. If n dimension Rn plus 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 plus, and indicate that the variable are indicated measured only in positive numbers. Let me use the pen here. Activate the pen. Okay. Okay. The pen. Can the pen is visible? Madam sir, pen visible हो की?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, madam.
Okay. Here this is given that the P, the price vector. It is, by vector it means it is a set. Assume it is a not a set. It's better to assume set. It is a set of positive numbers. Price cannot be negative. And income is also positive. Is also cannot measure in negative terms. All our variables are measured in positive terms only. So we'll deal with plus plus quadrant. We cannot go to minus minus or any plus minus quadrant. Then budget set. Budget set, what is a budget set? It is the that bundles which are affordable given the prices of the commodity and the money income of the consumer. This is a set theory representation of budget constraint. Just a minute. Rest नहीं जा. Okay, sorry for the disturbances. Okay, budget set. I hope everybody understand how the budget set is written. It is the formula format of lighting a set theory. I'm assuming that people know this. It is the collection of all those x that satisfy this inequality. That is price of the commodity multiplied with the quantity we purchase. Take its sum about the possible number of commodities. This is the expenditure side. And the expenditure in no way be more than income. Can be less than or at most equal to income. This is the budget set. Next come to utility function. Utility function is represented by capital U. U is a function where its domain is the X, that is consumption bundle. 2 is the domain is X bundle, the consumption bundle, and range is the positive quadrant of real numbers. That means when the consumption bundle are put inside this utility function, it will convert this bundle to a number, positive number. Not necessarily positive, can be also negative. It will convert the bundle or assign the bundle a number. But any such function cannot be considered as utility function. In order to such function consider as a utility function, it should satisfy the following condition. Now, what is the condition? Let utility assign. Wait, no, busy. Let utility. Oh, sorry. Utility assigned to a bundle. This is UX. X is the bundle. The bundle X bundle gives us utility, that is UX. It is greater if it is greater than or equal to the utility assigned to say another bundle, say it be Y. If this is the case, then it has to satisfy that this X bundle is in no way less preferred than Y bundle. If a bundle which gets more number assigns higher number, that means we say that that bundle should always be either more preferred or at least equally preferred to the bundle which is assigned by a less number. Then only I say this function will be a utility function. Okay. Then comes to my demand function.
मैडम आप टिके बड़ करके भी लिखि परिबे माने
Okay,
टिके
okay, sir.
एटे छोटा आछी
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Then comes to demand function. Demand function, here in the demand function, whenever I say it's a function, that means two things come to my mind. One is that there is some independent variable and some dependent variable. In demand function, remember quantity demand is the dependent variable, right? And quantity demand depends on whom the independent variable are prices. In demand function, given the income, that means income level is given for different prices, my demand will change. This is the demand function. You can not necessarily demand curve, then we'll say money income is constant. If you change money income, the demand also vary. So it is not necessary that always I'll take my money income as constant. So in demand function, price and money income you are assumed to be the independent variable. That will determine, given the prices and the money income, what is the quantity demanded by the consumer or demanded in the market. Here, the demand for this commodity X, this commodity, this X bundle is consist of X1 commodity, X2 commodity up to Xn commodity. So this equation, particularly this equation, what does it explain? This last equation, X is a bracketed PM is equal to X1 PM up to Xn PM. This simply said that X is a bundle. In this bundle, what are the commodity? X1 to up to Xn commodity. X1 is a commodity. X2, this is the जोटा देखो पूरा highly bold रे होची, that so that it is a vector. It's a bold X here. Where my point is there. It is a vector that contains which value na x1 to small x, this x1 which is not in bold form, x1 to xn. What is this x1? It is the commodity 1. This commodity 1, demand for commodity 1, then up to xn is the demand for commodity xn, nth commodity. First commodity demand, second commodity demand up to nth commodity demand. Together ମୁଁ କହିବି ସେ bundle କୁ ନାଁ ଦେଇଦେଲି x bundle. ଯଦି ମୁଁ କହିବି first commodity y1 amount consume କଲି, nth commodity yn amount commodity consume କଲି, ତ ସେଇ bundle କୁ ମୁଁ y bundle bold letter ରେ y bundle ବୋଲି sign କରିବି. ତ bundle ଗୁଡାକ bold letter ରେ ଲେଖିବେ ଆଉ particular commodity କୁ ଯୋଉଟା କି bold କରିବେନି. ତ ଯୋଉଟା bold ହେଇନି ମାନେ completely ବୁଝିଗଲେ ଏଟା bundle ମାନେ specific commodity like x1 here. तो এটা কହୁଛି x1 କେତେ ମୁଁ demand କରିବି, ସେ depends on price vector, that means all other commodity first to nth commodity ସବୁ commodity ର price ଉପରେ depend କରୁଛି, କେବଳ x1 ର price ଉପରେ ନୁହେଁ. ତ first commodity ର demand ସବୁ all related commodity other commodity ର prices ଉପରେ plus consumer ର income ଉପରେ depend କରୁଛି. तो given the price vector, different commodity ର price ଏତିକି ଅଛି, money income of the consumer ଦେଇଛି, accordingly ଆମେ determine କରିପାରିବା consumer optimization analysis କରିକି गिवन कंडीशन रे एतिकी क्वांटिटी ऑफ गुड वन कंज्यूम करिवो डिमांड करिवो एतिक कमोडिटी ऑफ गुड टू डिमांड करिवो एंड सो ऑन एतिक कमोडिटी ऑफ गुड एंड डिमांड करिवो ताकू ए डिमांड क्वांटिटी x1 टू xn ताकू गोटे ब्रैकेट और सेट रे लिखि देले दैट बंडल को x बंडल कहबा हैला तो एटा बेसिकली क्लियर होंतो जेते हम कहूची x1 दिस x1 इन द ब्रैकेटेड p वेक्टर m माने x1 केवल निज प्राइस ऊपर नहीं ऑल द प्राइसेस ऊपर डिपेंड करची ओके
भक्ति मैडम
यस सर
हमर किछि किछि स्लाइड रे तळ पोर्शन टा टिके कटि जाय नथला कि
हाँ हाँ
सेटा मु आ गुटे सेई जो फोल्डर रे अपलोड कर देछि जदि आपन दरकार सेटा से एटा को बंद कर दे कि सेटा को ऑन कर परिबे
ओके सर तो एट रूम कंटिन्यू कर देबी सर एबे
हां एबे कर दियौ जदि आपन दरकार मु कहि देली
ओके सर
ओके मैडम
ओके देन कम ओके सेकंड बंडल नेक्स्ट बंडल कंजप्शन बंडल का अवेलेबल होनी
का कहले
स्लाइड टा जाउनी आउ
जीव जीव जीव
हाँ
आपन
गला गला
हां
ओके सर ओके सर the basic notation name देखिले what is the consumption set how utility function is mentioned how the price vector is mentioned and demand function okay let's start the basic starting point that is the axioms a consumer be said to be a rational consumer if and only majorly three axioms are satisfied so what is the first axiom is said the completeness axiom that means we write that given any two, it is mentioned x is in bold, y in bold. That means these two are bundle. This bundle x, y are two bundles in which set in the consumption space. So this capital X is the consumption space, and this small was bold x, y indicates two elements of this commodity space. So take any two commodity bundle. So I can say either my X bundle is at least as good as. This is a sign of we say at least as good as. This is something similar to greater than equal to sign. So what is this representation is? This notation is read as X is at least as good as Y. That means I prefer X equal to Y or more than Y. But it will never be the case that X is less preferred to Y. So that's why we say X bundle is at least as good as Y bundle. If the consumer dita bundle को नेकी compare करिबो that my X bundle is at least as good as Y ହେଇଥିବ or no that is not the case or maybe that my Y bundle is at least as good as X. ଯଦି ଏଟା ହଉନି ତ last କଣ ହେଇପାରିବ ଦିଟା that means both are equally preferred bundles. clear ମାନେ any two commodity ମୁଁ rank କରିପାରିବି given मुझे rational consumer मते दीटा बंडल दिया गला I cannot say that मु कहि पानी कोटा हमर preferred bundle एटा generally human beings behavior रे हुए दीटा दिन से बंडल देखिया पे चूज करिया पे का को पचले से कहते I am confused कोटा मु चूज करबी so that type of that I am confused statement is not a rational behavior in order to be rational the consumer has to say he can compare to bundle either X bundle is more preferred, Y bundle is less preferred, or both are equally preferred. This is completeness axiom. Is this clear? Completeness axiom बुझिपारले ना? Anyone, sir, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Completeness actually देखाउचे simple case किंतु एटा जदी हेई परिबन एटा जदी valid कला नाही हमें आ further preference analysis करि परिबा नाही जोटा देखिला पर लागछि नॉर्मल एटा हेतिबो नॉट नेसेसरीली तो सेटा एक्चुअली हम कॉर्नरस्टोन हमर कोन कोन हमरो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट सेटा टू पिलर गोटे बिल्डिंग रो पिलर रेशनल असम्पशन रो पिलर होछि गोटे होछि कंप्लीटनेस एक्सियम हियर देखते हमें ए जो फर्स्ट साइन टा को कोन कहली x इज एट लीस्ट एज गुड एज y एटा को कोन पढंते हमें y इज एट लीस्ट एज गुड एज x যদি both equally preferred ଅଛି ଆମେ କହିବା the consumer is indifference between two bundles ତ କେମିତି ଲେଖିବା ଏମିତି ଯୋଉ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି x is this is the indifference sign x is indifference to y this statement ଯାହା ଏ statement ଯଦି କହିବା x is at least as good as y and also y is at least as good as y ଦିଟା statement କୁ combine କଲେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ equally କଣ କହି ପାରିବା that two bundles are indifference bundle. That is x is indifference to y. ଆମେ ଏମିତି ୟୁଜ କରନ୍ତି ନା mathematics ରେ, ଏମିତି ୟୁଜ କରନ୍ତି। ସପୋଜ ଏମିତି ୟୁଜ କରନ୍ତି the number, suppose x number is greater than equal to y and also and means together y is greater than equal to x। এই দুইটাକୁ ଆମେ combine କରିକି interpret କଣ କରନ୍ତି ନା x ର value is equal to y ର value। similar interpretation ଆମେ preference analysis ରେ କରିବା। କଣ ଯଦି ଏଇଟା ଦେଇଛି x is at least as good as y and also together y is at least as good as y। এই দুইটাକୁ ଯଦି ମୁଁ combine କରିବି ଦିଟା ମିଶିକି ମୋର କଣ interpret କରିବ ନା this x bundle is indifference to y bundle। clear? ତ ଫାଷ୍ଟ କଣ କରିପାରିବ ନା x is at least as good as y or ମୁଁ କଣ କହିପାରିବି ଏଟା କହିପାରିବି ନହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଏଟା କହିବି କି y is at least as good as x otherwise ମୁଁ କଣ କହିବି କି both that is x is indifference to y। example ଏଠି ନିଆଯାଇଛି। I think this is okay, then next I should go to next explanation। Okay. Then second important pillar of this our building of consumer behavior, that is the transitivity axiom। Transitivity axiom for to prove transitivity, for transitivity analysis minimum we need three bundle, more than three bundle we also can apply transitivity, but minimum we need three bundle। Here this statement, that is capital X in bold letter, that means this is a bundle, X bundle, Y bundle, Z bundle। This three bundle belongs to X, means X is the capital X here, it is the commodity space, and these are the bundles, it belongs to our commodity space। If this is X is at least as good as Y and simultaneously Y is at least as good as Z, এই দুইটা information ଅଛି କଣ ନା X is at least as good as Y and Y is at least as good as Z। ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ କନଜ୍ୟୁମର ଏଇ ଦୁଇଟା ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟ କହୁଛି ତାକୁ ଆମେ ପଚାରିବା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ, ଆମେ ସିଧା ଇଣ୍ଟରପ୍ରିଟ କଣ କରିଦବା X is also at least as good as Z। ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ଏଟା କହିବା କଣ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ଜିଟିଭ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ। ଯେମିତି କି ଆମେ ସପୋଜ କହନ୍ତି ଅପସନ ଯଦି ଦେବା ଗୋଟେ କନଜ୍ୟୁମର କୁ ଜେନେରାଲି ଆମେ କହନ୍ତି କି we prefer what is called biryani, let I say କନଜ୍ୟୁମର କୁ ତିନିଟା ଅପସନ ଦିଆହେଲା। ଅପସନ ହଉଛି ପ୍ଲେନ ରାଇସ୍, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହଉଛି ତମର ଲେମନ ରାଇସ୍, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ମନେକର ହଉଛି ବିରିୟାନୀ। ତ ଯଦି କନଜ୍ୟୁମର ମତେ ଏଇଆ ଇନଫର୍ମ କରିଦଉଛି କି କଣ କି ମାଇ ବିରିୟାନୀ, B for biryani is at least as good as my lemon rice, the symbol imply biryani is at least as good as lemon rice। ତାମାନେ କୌଣସି ବି କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ମୁଁ ଲେମନ ରାଇସ୍ କୁ ଅଧିକ ପ୍ରିଫର କରିପାରିବିନି ବିରିୟାନୀ ଅପେକ୍ଷା। The statement is known as biryani is at least as good as Z, sorry L, lemon rice। ଆଉ simultaneously ସେ consumer ମତେ ଏଟା ବି କହୁଛି କି my lemon rice I prefer, that is lemon rice is at least as good as plain rice। ଦିଟା statement ଦେଲା कि biryani is at least as good as lemon rice and also simultaneously ता से consumer पाई lemon rice is at least as good as plain rice। तो এই দুইটাକୁ ଆଉ consumer କୁ ପଚାରିବା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ, ଆମେ directly କୋନ interpret କରିଦବା ଯଦି ସେ rational ହେଇଥିବ ତ definitely biryani will be at least as good as plain rice for the consumer। then only ଯଦି condition satisfy କଲାନି कि biryani is at least as good as L and L is at least as good as P, କିନ୍ତୁ reverse କରିଦଉଛି P is at least as good as B। ତା ମାନେ completely ତାର ଗୋଟେ cyclical preference ପଳେଇ ଆଇଲା। ତ ଏଇ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ କୁ ଯିଏ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ଜିଟିଭିଟି ଆକ୍ସିଓମ ଫୁଲଫିଲ କରୁନି। ସାଇକ୍ଲିକାଲ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ କହିଲେ ଦେଖ ବିରିୟାନୀ ପ୍ରିଫର କଲା, ବିରିୟାନୀ କୁ ଅଧିକ ପ୍ରିଫର କଲା ଲେମନ ରାଇସ୍ ଅପେକ୍ଷା, ଲେମନ ରାଇସ୍ କୁ ଅଧିକ ପ୍ରିଫର କଲା ଯୋଉ ଇଏ ପ୍ଲେନ ରାଇସ୍ ଅପେକ୍ଷା, ଏଗେନ୍ ପ୍ଲେନ ରାଇସ୍ କୁ ପ୍ରିଫର କରୁଛି ବିରିୟାନୀ ଅପେକ୍ଷା। ତ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ଗୋଟେ ସାଇକ୍ଲିକାଲ ପାଟର୍ନ ପଳେଇ ଆଇଲା। ଦିସ୍ ସାଇକ୍ଲିକାଲ ପାଟର୍ନ ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲାଏ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ନନ୍ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ଜିଟିଭ। এটা ଟ୍ରାନ୍ଜିଟିଭ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ କେବେ ବି ସାଇକ୍ଲିକାଲ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ହେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। ତାକୁ ହାୟର ଆନାଲିସିସ ରେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଇଏ କରୁଛନ୍ତି କଣ ଆନାଲିସିସ କହିଲେ ରିଭ୍ୟୁ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ଆନାଲିସିସ, ସେଠି ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆ ଟର୍ମ ଆସୁଛି ସାଇକ୍ଲିକାଲ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ। that preference is not cyclical, that is acyclical preference। ତା ମାନେ the preference which is transitive rational preference of a rational consumer, then the preference pattern can never follow the cyclical format, it is circular format। Okay. That's why we say that no preference cycle। Okay. ओके देन आम नेक्स्ट जीवा कि लेट्स गो ମୁଁ ବେସିକାଲି ଏଇ ବେସିକ ଆକ୍ସନ ଉପରେ ବେଶୀ ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦଉଛି କାରଣ ଏଇ ମୋ ଧ୍ୟାନରେ ଏଇଟା ବୁଝନ୍ତୁ ଯେ ଏଟା ସିମ୍ପଲ ପ୍ଲେନ ଜିନିଷ ଦେଖାଯାଉଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ଦ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲ ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ ଆକୁ ଛାଡ଼ିଦେଲେ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ଆନାଲିସିସ୍ ପୁରା ବୁଡ଼ିଯିବ ଏଇ ଦିଟାକୁ ଆମକୁ ବୁଝିବା ସାଇମଲଟାନିୟସଲି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା କି ଆମ ରିଅଲ ଲାଇଫରେ ବି ଆପ୍ଲାଏ ହଉଛି କିଛି କନଜ୍ୟୁମର କଣ ଆମେ ମାନେ ବି ନିଜେ ଏମିତି ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରିବା ଜେନେରାଲି ଆମେ ଅଲସୋ ରେସନାଲ କନଜ୍ୟୁମର ଆମେ ମାନେ ତ ଆମ ବିହେଭିୟର ପ୍ୟାଟର୍ନରେ ବି ଏମିତି ଟ୍ରାନ୍ଜିଟିଭ ପ୍ୟାଟର୍ନ ଆସିବ ଆମେ ଏମିତି କେବେ ଏକ୍ସଟ୍ରିମ କଣ୍ଡିସନରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ କି ଡିଷ୍ଟର୍ବାନ୍ସ ଥିବ କି କଣ କିଛି ରେସନାଲିଟି କି ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ରିଟାର୍ଡ କଣ ହେଇଥିବ ସେ ସାଇକ୍ଲିକାର ପ୍ୟାଟର୍ନ ତାର ଆସିପାରେ ଛୋଟ ପିଲାକୁ ଆମେ କହିବା ତାକୁ ଯୋଉ ଗୋଟେ ଚକଲେଟ ଦେଇଦେଲି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଇଏ ତିନିଟା ଯେମିତି ଦେଖି ଚକଲେଟ ଦବୁ କି ପେନ୍ ଦବୁ କି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଦବୁ ସେ କହିବ ଚକଲେଟ ନେବି ପେନ୍ ଅପେକ୍ଷା ନା ମୁଁ ପେନ୍ ନେବି ଖେଳନା ଅପେକ୍ଷା କେତେବେଳେ ପୁଅ ସେଇଆ କହିବ ନାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଖେଳନା ପସନ୍ଦ କରିବି ଚକଲେଟ ଅପେକ୍ଷା ତ ସ୍ମଲ ଚାଇଲ୍ଡ ଆର୍ ନଟ୍ ଆୱାର ରେସନାଲ ତ ସେ ଆମର କନଜ୍ୟୁମର ବିହେଭିୟର ଆନାଲିସିସ୍ ଜୋନ୍ ବାହାରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ସେ ଯୋଗୁଁ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରିବା ନାହିଁ ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କୌଣସି ଆନାଲିସିସ୍ କଲେ ଆମେ ଆଗ ଆଜ୍ୟୁମ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତି କନଜ୍ୟୁମର ସୁଡ୍ ବି ରେସନାଲ ଓକେ then go to next slide okay jadi continuity axiom continuity axiom କଣ କହୁଛି suppose ସେ କହୁଛି any bundle y the set ସେ represent କରିବ y ଗୋଟେ bundle ତମେ commodity space ର you take a bundle let me draw this here this is my commodity space जोटाକୁ ଆମେ x ସ୍ପେସ୍ କହନ୍ତି x ୱିଦାଉଟ୍ ବୋଲ୍ଡ କାରଣ x ଟାକୁ ବୋଲ୍ଡ କରିଦେଲେ ସେ ବଣ୍ଡଲ କୁ ପଳେଇବ ଦିସ୍ ଦ କମୋଡିଟି ସ୍ପେସ୍ ଏଇ ସ୍ପେସ୍ ରେ ଗୋଟେ ବଣ୍ଡଲ ସପୋଜ ମୁଁ ଏଠି y ଏଠି ମୁଁ ଏଠି y ବଣ୍ଡଲ ଟା ଚୁଜ୍ କରୁଛି ହେଲା ମୁଁ ଏ y ବଣ୍ଡଲ ଟା ହେଇଗଲା ବାକି ସବୁ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ନେବି ଯେ ବଣ୍ଡଲ ଗୁଡାକ ନେବି ଯୋଉ ବଣ୍ଡଲ ଗୁଡାକ ମୋର y ବଣ୍ଡଲ ଅପେକ୍ଷା ଅଧିକ ପ୍ରିଫର୍ଡ ହେଇଥିବ ତାକୁ ଇଜିଲି ବୁଝିବା ପାଇଁ ବେଟର ମୋ ପାଇଁ କଣ ହବ ନା ଗୋଟେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ କର୍ଭ ଡ୍ର କରିଦେଲି ଇଣ୍ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ କର୍ଭ ର ଏଇ ପଏଣ୍ଟ y ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଟାକୁ ନେଇଗଲି ତ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ମିନ୍ସ ଏଇ ଜୋନ ର ଉପରେ ଯେତେ ସବୁ ବଣ୍ଡଲ ଗୁଡାକ ଆସିବ these are the bundles which is at least as good as y so these bundles the x bundle is at least as good as y bundle clear ଆ ତଳେ ଯେତେ ସବୁ ଜୋନ ଗୁଡାକ ରହିଲା ଏ ସବୁ ଜୋନ ଗୁଡାକ ରହିଲା ଏଇ ଜୋନ କୁ ମୁଁ କଣ କହିବି these are the bundles where I say that y is this y is at least as good as this bundle this set of bundles ହେଲା ତ ବେସିକାଲି ଆମେ କହିବା ଏ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ଇଣ୍ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ କର୍ଭ ଟା କଲି ସେ ମୋ କମୋଡିଟି ସ୍ପେସ୍ କୁ ଦିଟା ପାର୍ଟ ରେ ଡିଭାଇଡ କରିଦେଲା ଗୋଟେ ହଉଛି ଇଣ୍ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ କର୍ଭ ର ଉପର ପାର୍ଟ ଯେ କହୁଛି ପ୍ରିଫର୍ଡ ରିଜିଅନ ଆଉ ତଳ ପାର୍ଟ ଯେ କହୁଛି ଲେସ୍ ପ୍ରିଫର୍ଡ ରିଜିଅନ ଆଉ ଉପର ପର୍ସନରେ ମତେ ମୋର ପ୍ରିଫର୍ଡ ବଣ୍ଡଲ ଗୁଡାକ ଅଛି ତଳ ଜୋନ ରେ ମୋର ଲେସ୍ ପ୍ରିଫର୍ଡ ଜୋନ ଅଛି ତ ଏଇ ଜୋନ ର ନାଁ କଣ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଉପର ଏଇ ଜୋନ ଗୁଡାକୁ କଣ କହନ୍ତି ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ଆଜ ଗୁଡ ଆଜ ସେଟ୍ ଆଉ ତଳଟା କୁହନ୍ତି ନୋ ବେଟର ଦ୍ୟାନ ସେଟ୍ ମାନେ ଦିସ୍ ବଣ୍ଡଲ ଆର୍ ନଟ୍ ବେଟର ଦ୍ୟାନ ୱାଇ ବଣ୍ଡଲ less preferred less preferred to y ତାକୁ କୁହନ୍ତି no better zone ହେଲା ତ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଟି ଆକ୍ସନ କହୁଛି ଯଦି ସପୋଜ ମୁଁ ଏଇଠି y ବଣ୍ଡଲରେ ଅଛି ମୁଁ ସ୍ଲାଇଟଲି ଟିକେ ମୋର y ର କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟିରେ ମନେକର ଯୋଉ କମୋଡିଟି ଗୁଡାକ ଅଛି ସ୍ଲାଇଟ ଟିକେ ଯଦି ଜମ୍ପ କରିବି ତ ଏମିତି ମନେକର ମୁଁ ତଳେ ଏଇଠି ଅଛି ଏଇ ପଏଣ୍ଟରେ ଅଛି ସ୍ଲାଇଟ ଟିକେ କମୋଡିଟି ଚେଞ୍ଜ କଲି ଟିକେ କମୋଡିଟି ବଢେଇ ଦେଲି କି କମେଇ ଦେଲି ତ ମୁଁ ସିଧା ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଏଇ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ସେଟ୍ କୁ ଅପର ସେଟ୍ କୁ ପହଞ୍ଚି ପାରିବିନି ମାନେ କମୋଡିଟିର ଆମାଉଣ୍ଟରେ ସ୍ଲାଇଟ ଟିକେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଲେ ଆମର ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ଟା ରିଭର୍ସ ହବନି ସଡନ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇଯିବ ନାହିଁ ତାକୁ କହନ୍ତି କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଟି ଆଉ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଟିକୁ ସମଟାଇମ୍ସ ଆମେ କହନ୍ତି ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ଏ କ୍ଲୋଜ ସେଟ୍ in mathematical analysis the set is called as closed set close in x ଏଇଟା ଯଦି କ୍ଲୋଜ ଇନ୍ ଏକ୍ସ ଏଟା ଆଉ ଟିକେ ହାର୍ଡ ଡାଇମେନସନ ର ମ୍ୟାଥ ୟୁଜ କରନ୍ତି ଏଟାକୁ ନହେଲେ ଇଗ୍ନୋର କରନ୍ତୁ ଖାଲି ଏତିକି ମନେ ରଖନ୍ତୁ small change in the quantity of the bundle does not lead to sudden jump in the utility that's why sudden jump in the preference zone ये ଲେଖା ଅଛି small change bundle can if leads to directly sudden jump then it will not be continuity no sudden jump is possible ଯଦି ଏଇ ଆସମ୍ପସନ ଆମେ ନ ନବା ଆମ ୟୁଟିଲିଟି ଫଙ୍କସନ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଅସ ହେଇପାରିବନି ଇଫ ୟୁଟିଲିଟି ଫଙ୍କସନ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଅସ ନ ହେଲା ଆମେ ତାର ଡେରିଭେଟିଭ ବାହାର କରିପାରିବାନି ଦେନ୍ ଆମର ଅପ୍ଟିମାଇଜେସନ ଆନାଲିସିସ ର ସଲ୍ୟୁସନ ବି ପାଇପାରିବା ନାହିଁ ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଆଜ୍ୟୁମ କରିନିଅନ୍ତି ଦ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ଇଜ ଏ ସାଟିସ୍ଫାଇ ଦ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଟି ଆକ୍ସିଅମ then go to next Wait. This is another important action. Monotonicity. That means no non-satiation. Satiation is a point. So we say it is a bliss point. That bundle, a bundle, ତାଠୁ ଡେଭିଏଟ୍ ହେଲେ ତାଠୁ ଅଲଗା କୌଣସି ବଣ୍ଡଲ ନେଲେ ୟୁଟିଲିଟି ତାଠୁ କମ ଦବ or ସାଟିସ୍ଫାକ୍ସନ ତାଠୁ କମ ଦବ ତାକୁ କୁହନ୍ତି ସାଟିଏସନ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ତ ନନ୍ ସାଟିଏସନ ମାନେ ଏମିତି କିଛି ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଏକ୍ଜିଷ୍ଟ କରୁନି କୌଣସି ବଣ୍ଡଲ ନାହିଁ ଯୋଉ ବଣ୍ଡଲଟା ସାଟିଏସନ ବଣ୍ଡଲ ହେଇଥିବ और ତାକୁ ଅଦର ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜରେ କହନ୍ତି ମୋନୋଟୋନିସିଟି और मेरी प्लेन लैंग्वेज आम कह मोर इज बेटर मोर इज प्रिफर्ड जो दीटा बंडल अच्छी जो बंडल कमोडिटी अधिक अच्छी से प्रिफर्ड बंडल हम जो लेस कमोडिटी से लेस प्रिफर्ड बंडल हम जमती एग्जांपल का योर फर्स्ट कमोडिटी कंटेन्स 3 यूनिट सेकंड कमोडिटी कंटेन्स 4 यूनिट एंड हियर इन दिस बंडल फर्स्ट कमोडिटी कंटेन्स 2 यूनिट second commodity contains 4 unit. Look, in both the bundles, second units are equal in numbers, equal in quantity. Then goes to the first bundle. So it's clear that first bundle has higher amount, additional unit of first commodity. So more is better. Preference say that this first bundle will be preferred over second bundle. Second is similarly, first commodity is three in quantity, both bundles. But in the first bundle, second quantity is more. Then compare it paribo. तुमको definitely 3 4 is preferred over 3 3. कि इधर केमती कंपैरिजन करिवो सपोज दीटा कमोडिटी अछि गोटे बंडल को कांस्टेंट रखिकी आर दीटा माने गोटे कमोडिटी कांस्टेंट रखिकी आर दीटा कमोडिटी को बढ़ाओ कमाओ बढ़ाओ जोटा अधिक अछि ताको रिपोर्ट करिवे और गोटे दीटा बंडल अछि ए तो थर्ड केस रे बोथ फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड कमोडिटी सेकंड बंडल ले जहा अछि फर्स्ट बंडल रे बोथ कमोडिटी क्वांटिटी अधिक अछि एते भी हम कहि परिबे दिस इज प्रिफर्ड बंडल किंतु जदि एमिति किछि रहि गला सपोज जेंति गोटे बंडल देछि कोन and this is a suppose x bundle एटी कोन अछि 3 4 अछि माने फर्स्ट कमोडिटी 3 यूनिट रो सेकंड कमोडिटी 4 यूनिट रो y आ गुटे बंडल ये कोन अछि 3 क्वांटिटी बढ़े कि 4 कर देला किंतु एटी 4 क्वांटिटी कमई दे कि 2 कर देला ये गोटे 3 ये कोन अछि x कमोडिटी अधिक अमाउंट रो अछि किंतु ये कोन अछि y कमोडिटी कम अमाउंट रो अछि तो ए क्षेत्र में x y के भी कंपेयर करि परिबि नाही कंपेयर केते बेले हबो इधर बोथ कमोडिटी इंक्रीज करथिबो किबा गिवन अमाउंट ऑफ गोटे कमोडिटी आरो कमोडिटी इंक्रीज हेतिबो देन ओनली कंपैरिजन हबो किंतु गोटे बंडले फर्स्ट कमोडिटी अधिक अछि सेकंड बंडल अपेक्षा किंतु सेकंड कमोडिटी कम अछि तो से कंडीशन रे कंपैरिजन हेई परिबो नाही क्लियर एटा कंपैरिजन कोठी हबो हबोनी एटा क्लियर ना समटाइम्स एमती एग्जांपल दे देता है ए तीनटा सहित सेट कर दबो एक्स बंडल इज प्रिफर्ड ओवर दिस वाई बंडल तो व्हिच इज रॉन्ग कोटा भायोलेट करछि कहबे
मैम
हाँ यस
मैम
मैम
जो लेक्सियोग्राफिक प्रेफरेंस टा ए मोनोटोनिसिटी रे जीव की
लेक्सियोग्राफिक प्रेफरेंस
आया
लेक्सियोग्राफिक प्रेफरेंस को कहूची आई थिंक एटा कहूची जेतेरे गोटे कमोडिटी सपोज एठी एक्स गोटे बंडल ले सपोज फर्स्ट कमोडिटी सेकंड कमोडिटी अछि आ गोटे बंडल से अलगा क्वांटिटी ऑफ फर्स्ट कमोडिटी सेकंड कमोडिटी रहउची तो आगो मो प्रेफरेंस डिटरमाइन करबो मु केवल मोर फर्स्ट बंडल को देखिबी कि सॉरी फर्स्ट कमोडिटी देखिबी कि फर्स्ट ए सपोज ए बंडल गोटे बी बंडल ए बंडल ले फर्स्ट बंडल फर्स्ट क्वांटिटी केते अछि बी बंडल ले सेकंड क्वांटिटी केमिति अछि फॉर एग्जांपल मैं नउची ए गोटे बंडल सेठी कोन अछि फर्स्ट कमोडिटी x1 अमाउंट अछि आउ सेकंड कमोडिटी सपोज x2 अमाउंट अछि आ गोटे बंडल जोथे फर्स्ट कमोडिटी y1 अमाउंट अछि सेकंड कमोडिटी y2 अमाउंट अछि तो ए बी रु कोटा मोर प्रिफर मु आगो देखिबी फर्स्ट बंडल फर्स्ट कमोडिटी को देखिबी एठी फर्स्ट कमोडिटी दीटा कंपेयर करबी जोटी अधिक अछि मन कर ए x1 इज ग्रेटर देन y1 तो मु कहबी आउ सेकंड कमोडिटी x2 y2 मु कंपेयर करबिनी एठु सीधा कहि देबी ए इज प्रिफर्ड बंडल ओवर बी बंडल प्रिफर्ड बंडल ओवर बी बंडल मु सेकंड कमोडिटी को केते बेले जीबी जदी मोर x1 इक्वल टू y1 फर्स्ट कमोडिटी बहुत जगह इक्वल अमाउंट अछि देन ओनली मु प्रेफरेंस को चेक करिया पई सेकंड बंडल को जीबी सेकंड बंडल जोटा अधिक थिबो सेटा प्रिफर्ड बंडल हे जीवो आकु ही लेक्सियोग्राफिक प्रेफरेंस कहंती ओके मैडम
आज्ञा
तो सेठी भी से देखंतु कोन हो जागो फर्स्ट दीटा को कंपेयर करला हां एई क्षेत्र रे हमर कोन हबो एई असम्पशन ता हमर सैटिस्फाई करबो नै मु जो टेक्निक टा कहले किंतु मेजॉरिटी हम एई सब नाम जो टेक्निक कहले ता ऊपर ही बेस होइताय ओनली लेक्सियोग्राफिक क्षेत्र रे हबो नै जदि मन को एठी x1 ग्रेटर देन y1 अछि तो x2 कम y2 अपेक्षा थिले भी मते फरक पड़िबो नै मु सीधा कहि देबी a प्रिफर्ड ओवर b ओनली याकु कहते लेक्सियोग्राफिक प्रिफरेंस ये होची तार क्रिटिसिज्म ऑफ दिस हमरो ए प्रिफरेंस एनालिसिस रो एठी काम देबो नाही किंतु अलगा टाइप रा हमरो जे कोन प्रिफरेंस ने सब्स्टिट्यूट परफेक्ट सब्स्टिट्यूट प्रिफरेंस हो कि सीडी प्रिफरेंस हो जनरली हम जोटा यूज करंती हम एनालिसिस रे कि हमरो ए जो ये कंप्लीट जो कोनता कोनती कॉम्प्लीमेंटरी गुड्स ताको प्रेफरेंस हो सेठी एमिथि कंपैरिजन होबो प्रिफर्ड बंडल कि नाही ओके चिन्मय मैडम
आज्ञा
यू आर राइट लेक्सियोग्राफिक प्रेफरेंस रे एनालिसिस ता हे परिबो नाही
आज्ञा
आगो लेक्सियोग्राफिक प्रेफरेंस क्लियर ना मैडम
आज्ञा आज्ञा
सेटा थिबो आमे तरे आगु को जिबा डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ प्रेफरेंस सेथरे तारो क्रिटिसिज्म ने प्रेफरेंस ता आसबो कन्वेक्सिटी sometimes आप ताको स्ट्रिक्ट कन्वेक्सिटी कहंती और सिंपली प्लेन कन्वेक्सिटी कहंती बोथ इंटरप्रिटेशन और डायग्राम इंडिफरेंस कर्व डायग्राम भी चेंज होबो तो convexity कौन को जति मोर preference is convex preference if consumer's preference is convex preference is simply interpret that dita extreme bundle अछि two extreme bundles अछि like it is here in this case it is x and y I'll say extreme bundle in the sense that in bundle x2 commodity xt second commodity is much in quantity but first commodity is very less in quantity तो एक्स बंडल मेजरली अधिक कौन सेकेंड गुटा अधिक अमाउंट अच्छी सिमिलरली वाई बंडल देखो फास्ट कमोडिटी अधिक अमाउंट अच्छी और सेकेंड कमोडिटी अति कम अमाउंट अच्छी तो ये दुटा को एक्सट्रीम बंडल कहबी एक्सट्रीम कहा अपेक्षा देन दोट बंडल दैट कम्स ऑन द लाइन ऑफ दिस एक्स वाई लाइन एक्स वाई लाइन को ड्र कर जॉइन कले जो लाइन आसीबो ता ऊपर जो बंडल गुडा को आसीबो ए ऊपर सब इनफिनिटी बंडल आसीबो ए बंडल गुडा को हमें कहबा एवरेज बंडल हैला ए लाइन ऊपर जो बंडल आसीबो ताकू मैथमेटिकल केमति रिप्रेजेंट करंती द बंडल ऑन दिस एक्स वाई लाइन इज रिप्रेजेंटेड एज t into x bundle plus 1 minus t into y bundle এটা কইবা average bundle how xy হচ্ছে বড় এটি extreme bundle তো simply if preference is convex that means a consumer prefer this average bundle over the extreme bundle ଗୋଟେ ମୁଁ ଦେଖୁଛି average bundle calculation ହଁ sorry okay okay दिटा बंडल एठी मैं एग्जांपल नै कि देखुची जो कोन जो केमति हमें तारो गोटे एवरेज बंडल को काम बाहर करबा लेट एक्स गोटे बंडल सेतरे कोन फर्स्ट कमोडिटी लेट 10 अमाउंट अछि और सेकंड कमोडिटी लेट मु कहूची 6 अमाउंट अछि 6 क्वांटिटी रो अछि एक्स बंडल जेमति वाई आ गोटे बंडल एठी कोन अछि सपोज फर्स्ट कमोडिटी लेट इट इज केते 3 सपोज 3 6 लिखि दउची फॉर इजी अंडरस्टैंडिंग 6 अछि एठी किंतु 10 अछि हैला ए दीटा बंडल अछि आर एवरेज बंडल केमति कैलकुलेट करबी ए रो फार्मूला देछि t into x plus bracket is 1 minus t into y bundle t कोन t is a positive number in between 0 and 1 t रो maximum value 0 1 हे परबो minimum value 0 हे परबो तो t can be less than or equal to 0 or greater than it but less than equal to 1 ए जोन भीतर रहबो t हैला तो लेट मु अज्यूम कर दोची t इज इक्वल टू मोर एठी हाफ बोले नै जाउची तो t रो वैल्यू केते इन्फिनिटी हे परबो 0 रो 1 भीतर 0.1 0.001 0.2 0.002 सो मेनी नंबर अछि तो जेते t रो इन्फिनिटी नंबर अछि तो दीटा एवरेज बंडल जो कोता एक्सट्रीम बंडल यदि एवरेज बंडल बाहर करबा यूनिक एवरेज बंडल बाहरिबोनी इन्फिनिटी नंबर ऑफ एवरेज बंडल बाहरिबो and that value of the average bundle will depends on what is the value of t taken here clear एठी सपोज t को मैं तार वैल्यू पुट कर दोची t रो वैल्यू मैं लखसी 1/2 into x बंडल को कोन रखिबे दिस इज 10 then 6 plus so 1 minus t will be 1 minus half equal to half into this is equal to 6 and 10 then कोन हबो ये कहूची 10 फास्ट कमोडिटी तार अधा नेबी और 6 कमोडिटी तार अधा नेबी अब 10 कमोडिटी माने तार अधा हबो 5टा बंडल एपट हे जिवो 3टा बंडल tx बंडल हबो 5टा बंडल 3टा बंडल हेलो हां को हला
ଟିକେ ରୁହ ପଳା ଗାଡିରେ ଛାଡୁନୁ
प्रियंका पाड़ी टिके प्लीज म्यूट करिवो
କାଟରେ ବସିଯା
ପ୍ରିୟଙ୍କା ପାଢୀ କିଏ ଓକେ
ୟେସ୍ ମ୍ୟାମ୍
ଟିକେ म्यूट करदबो बेले बेले बैकग्राउंड रो साउंड आसी ओके
ୟେସ୍ ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ଏଠି
प्लस
ଭୋଜି ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି
ओके दिस एबे ए बंडल t1 - ty कोन इंडिकेट करछि फर्स्ट बंडल 6 अछि तो तारा हाफ नै जाओ 3 तो सेकंड बंडल जो कमोडिटी 10 अमाउंट अछि तारा हाफ नै गले आइबे 5 ए दुटा को ऐड करबो ऐड कले फर्स्ट कमोडिटी को फर्स्ट कमोडिटी से ऐड करबो सेकंड कमोडिटी को सेकंड कमोडिटी से ऐड करबो दैट इज इक्वल टू 5 3 8 हे गला ये तळ 5 3 8 हे गला तो ये गोटे एवरेज बंडल जे कोन अछि ना फर्स्ट कमोडिटी 8 यूनिट्स अछि एंड सेकंड कमोडिटी 8 यूनिट्स अछि so xy here are two extreme bundles x contains 10 units of first commodity and 6 unit of second commodity similarly y is another extreme bundle these are 6 unit of first commodity 10 units of second commodity so one of the average bundle will be 8 of first commodity and 8 of second commodity. Similarly, T of value change it 1/3 or 1/4, but cannot greater than 1. So you get different average bundle. The convexity preference simply say that a consumer will always prefer his average bundle over his extreme bundle. That's why look at this. This XY straight line, the dotted line, this all the points on this dotted line will indicate different average bundle. And these average bundles are, these points are, dotted line is above this indifference curve. That means it is the preference zone of this indifference curve. This any point in this zone will be more preferred to y as well as x. Clear? That's why with the interpretation is average is preferred over extreme. এটা বুঝিলা না? It is clear? What is convexity axiom?
Yes, ma'am.
This is called convexity axiom. But there is a difference between convexity axiom and strictly convexity axiom. The convexity axiom simply says that is average bundle. If preference is strictly convex, that means average bundle, this average bundle will be strictly preferred over the extreme bundle. Okay. That means if we draw the indifference curve, there will be no straight line portion in this indifference curve. For example, see here, look at this indifference curve. This indifference curve, although show a convex, show the convex preference only, no strict preference. Why? Take any 2 points, A point and this B point. Straight line तो itself indifference curve ऊपर exist करची. तो मु कौन करिबे any average bundle टा एटा मन को A point, एटा मन को B point, B bundle. आरो extreme दिटा extreme bundle, average bundle कोन straight line. जे straight line टा निजे indifference curve ऊपर exist करची. तामाने any average bundle को नहीं जाओ, that average bundle is not strictly preferred over A bundle or B bundle. It is indifference. So it is strict preference है परिबन है. Strict preference है एमि तो straight line portion रहिबो नाही. जेमति कि ए डायग्राम रे कोनोसी भी throw out the indifference curve, there is no portion in showing a straight line like picture. That's why we say this symbol. This symbol says that my average bundle will be strictly preferred over X bundle. But if it's not strictly preferred, that is equal to it here, it will be equal to sign. This indicate this say that if you give a straight line, this is say that this average bundle is at least as good as X bundle or Y bundle. If I write only this symbol, I say this is strictly preferred. That means this average bundle is strictly preferred over X bundle. When there is strict preference, the indifference curve will be strictly convex. Like in this diagram here, it is drawn in this PPM. If I say my preference is simply convex preference, not a strict convex, strict convexity is there. So there the indifference curve may look like the indifference curve I have drawn here. In this part, there is a straight line feature. Okay, this is the difference between convexity of preferences and strict convexity of preferences. And the point, if indifference curve is will be strictly convex, the preferences are strictly convex, then optimum solution, consumer optimization ro only unique solution ଆସିବ. ମାନେ given the price and money income रे केवल गोटे unique bundle ही जे ताको सबटु maximum utility दबो given the budget constraint. If my preference is not strictly convex, simply convex. That means my indifference curve may contain a straight line. If by any coincidence my budget line will passes through this AB point, AB line, in that point any point in between this range will be my optimum solution. So সেই ক্ষেত্রে আর ইউনিক সলিউশন আসিব নাই। The convexity of preference implies that there may exist more than one solution. But strict convexity preference says that only a unique solution will exist. Okay, এটা মনে রাখি না? Then go to next. These are এটা সব দেখি নেবে, এটা ইয়ে নাই না? Next numerical example টা কেতে ডিটেইলস আসো দেখিবে আর নাই না। Okay, okay, এতিক হচ্ছে আমার complete axiom. What are the axioms? The completeness axiom. What it indicate? That consumer can rank any two bundles. He will be able to rank it. That means can compare any two bundles. So what is the it is preference symbol like if there are two bundles, say x y are two bundle belongs to commodity space x. Akuti pila mane bin sir madam mane try to write in the symbol forms. চেষ্টা করতে symbol form রে এই meaning তো দেখছি can compare to any two bundle এমতি ন লেখি সিধা এমতি লিখিবে x and y two bundle belongs to commodity space x, that and also then in that condition either x is at least as good as y or y is at least as good as y x or both. ଏମିତି ଲେଖିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରନ୍ତୁ କାରଣ ହାୟର ଷ୍ଟଡି ସବୁବେଳେ ଚାହିଁ ଆମେ ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲିଟିକୁ ଅଧିକ କେମିତି ୟୁଜ କରିବା। ସେ କହୁଛି if completeness axiom is completeness, ତ ମୁଁ ତାକୁ କେମିତି ଲେଖିବି? let x y are two bundle belongs to my commodity space, then either x is at least as good as y or y is at least as good as x or both. बस एतिकी this एतिक लाइन एति जो लेखिली एतिकी लेखिबा जहा एटु एतिकी लेखिबा जहा इम्प्लाय करछि कोन कंप्लीटनेस एक्सियम और ए पार्ट टा पूरा लेखिबा सेया। तो एमती एबे लैंग्वेज न लेखि सिंबल ले लेखिबाटा प्रैक्टिस करंतो। सिंबल ले लेखले तुम अंडरस्टैंडिंग को माने पूरा पिक्चराइज कर दबो। एक्सियम टा कहबो तुमे सेटा ए नंबर गुडा को ए सिंबल गुडा को तुम आखिया को पळे आसीबो। तुम बुझिबा टिके बेटर हेल्प करे आ। The complete axiom. Then if I say transitive axiom, simply এমতি লেখাইছি। এই transitive axiom কହୁଛି মানে এইটা তুমি লিখি দেবো। Given A is at least as good as B and B is at least as good as C, so that imply কোন imply କରିବ A is at least as good as C। তো এই आंसर पे हमको कंज्यूमर को पचारिबा पड़िबो नाही जदि से रैशनल कंज्यूमर हेतिबो। Then continuity axiom, sudden jump of preference. That means small change in quantity of commodity cannot lead to sudden change in utility. Suppose gote bundle x bundle le 5टा first commodity अछि 6टा second commodity अछि हैला आ गोटे bundle ले 5 रु just टिके slight टिके first commodity बढ़ी देली second को slight टिके बढ़ी देली। In that condition रे मु कहबिनी कि first bundle मते 10 utility होतला तो second bundle मते 50 दे देला पूरा jump करि परिबिनी धीरे धीरे jump करबी। That's why this is known as continuity axiom. The continuity axiom नथिबो utility analysis रो मेन कोछि जो डेरिवेटिव इंटीग्रेशन एवरा किछि यूज हेइ परिबो नाही। तो आरो एप्लीकेशन पे हमें continuity axiom को assume करि नियंती। Then second monotonicity means more is better. What is implied? That means if preference is monotonicity, that implies there cannot exist any bliss point or there cannot exist any satiation point or preference is non-satiation. तीनटार माने एका। That means जेते upward आकु केमती डायग्राम रे कहबो जेते higher indifference करकु जिबी मोर यूटिलिटी बढ़िया को लागिबो। In convexity, what is convexity? Simply symbol ले अपन लिख देबे x y two bundle take is average bundle, that is tx plus 1 minus ty. This will be referred to x and y bundle. एमती लिखिबे आ सेठी एक्सप्लेन करिया को जिबेनी एक्सप्लेनेशन टा मन रे रहइबो। कोई लिखला को सिंबल लिखिबे किंतु भाबला को कि माय एवरेज बंडल इज मोर प्रिफर्ड ओवर एक्सट्रीम बंडल एमती भाबिबे। then convexity सेठी गोटे पार्ट आ गोटे स्लाइड ब्रांच बार की स्ट्रिक्ट convexity कहूची आ। theorem को कहूची If this is the, you can say it is the existence of Euclid or Euclid theorem କହିପାରିବେ. No, no. Thank you, sir. Okay, clear. तो कौन कौन सी theorem? If reference satisfy the above axioms, completeness, transitive, continuity, monotonicity, then there exists a continuous utility function. U is the utility function. It is a function from my commodity space to set up real numbers. If and only my preference satisfy the above conditions, then the utility function, a continuous utility function is exist such that a bundle given two bundles X is at least as good as Y. It implies that utility assigned to X bundle can never be less than or greater than equal to utility assigned to another bundle. So if U is a utility function and X is at least as good as Y, then what will say the number assigned to ux, then you can say what is the suppose given here utility of X and utility of Y. First condition utility of X equal to 10, utility of Y equal to 5. Here utility of 10 equal to 6, its utility equal to 3, or its utility. So out of these two, which one will be true, first or second? କହିବେ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଆଜ୍ୟୁମ କରୁଛି କି ୟୁ ଇଜ ମାଇ ଦ ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ସାଟିସ୍ଫାଇ ଦ ଏଭବ ଆକ୍ସିଅମ୍ସ, ସୋ ମତେ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଆଉ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଏଇ ଦିଟାରୁ କୋଉଟା ଟ୍ରୁ ହବ?
ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ଫାଷ୍ଟ।
Because if X is preferred to Y ଲେଖିଦେଇଛି, that imply utility of X should be greater than or equal to Y. 10 5 ଏଟା ହେଇପାରିବ, 6 3 ରିଭର୍ସ କେସ୍ କହିଦଉଛି, ସେଟା ହେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। But this is the theorem. That's the existence of continuous utility function. The utility function is continuous because we assume that the preference is continuous. Clear? तो प्रायतः क्वेश्चन एमती आसी परिबो कि तुमको प्रेफरेंस ऑर्डर टा दे देछि कि x प्रिफर टू y, y प्रिफर टू z, तापर लिखबो यूटिलिटी ऑफ x एतिकी, यूटिलिटी ऑफ y एतिकी, यूटिलिटी ऑफ z एतिकी, ताता चॉइस देथिबो, नंबर गुडा को देथिबो, कोउटा यूटिलिटी फंक्शन को जस्टिफाई करछि। देखिबे आउ जोटा मोर प्रिफर्ड बंडल ताको अधिक नंबर, जोटा लेस प्रिफर्ड बंडल ताको कम नंबर, ताले यूटिलिटी फंक्शन को सैटिस्फाई करला आउ। नेक्स्ट indifference curve. Indifference curve. So what is the indifference curve? It is the collection of the bundles which are equally preferred, which are indifferent to each other. Clear? Indifferent to each other. Then how I'll say in terms of utility, that all the bundle are getting the same utility. That's why they are the indifference bundle. The indifference curve is nothing, is a collection of, or you say set of, or you say locus of all the bundles that were equally preferred, or the bundle that gives me same utility. That is the definition of indifference curve. How to write it? It is the indifference curve. This indifference curve, which is x0 indicates this is the level of utility I am getting from this indifference curve. So set format written as X. This indifference curve contains all such bundles. The X is a bundle, so that this bundle belongs to commodity space, and this X bundle is indifference to X0 bundle. And say so bundle J indifference to X0 bundle. The collection of all such X bundle which are indifference to X0 bundle will constitute my indifference curve. Or simply we say that all such X of that utility assigned to the bundles will be equal to the utility that I get from X0 bundle. Clear? This is the definition. This is easy. This is not difficult. Here, in this diagram, look, A, B, and C. This point are on same indifference curve. So by definition, both are equally preferred. That means both are indifference bundles. So we write it A is indifference to B is indifference to C. Or we say, otherwise we can say utility of A is equal to utility of B is equal to utility of C. Jemti equally same meaning hoche. But whereas go to other indifference curve IC2, IC3, look all the bundle, all this IC2 or IC3 will give me more utility. Why? Because if we compare this indifference curve, you can just simply say that higher the indifference curve, higher the utility. I mean, कौन statement केमती compare करिवे? Suppose ये B point गोटे नहीं जानते हो. This is the B point given अछि. तो एमती काम हम करिवा. ए B point रे, ए B point. गोटे suppose vertical line एमती नहीं गली. जेटा IC2 ऊपर को चाक मन को मुना दे देली. D bundle. कोना देली ताको D bundle. Can I write it? No. ये पॉइंट को मन को मु D point दे देली. Sorry. ये पॉइंट को D point देली. को पॉइंट ना this point. This point is D point. Look, compare B with D. In B bundle, both commodity one are in B and D bundle. Commodity one are equal amount. That is equal to, suppose this is equal to X1. First commodity is, oh sorry, I'm not able to write here. Okay, this amount, this origin to this amount. Both B and D bundle le first commodity equal amount ଅଛି. But B bundle le first commodity ଏତିକି ଥିଲା ବେଳକୁ second commodity ଏତେ amount ଅଛି. So definitely B bundle le कम commodity अछि comparative to D bundle. Actually first bundle same अछि तो second bundle लेके मु compare कर देली. D bundle अधिक second good अछि B अपेक्षा. तो by the rule of what we say monotonicity, more is preferred. तो मु कोन claim करबी? D is preferred bundle over B bundle. That means G मते अधिक utility देबो. अधिक utility देबो imply जे गोटे higher indifference curve exist करछि, which is satisfied in this diagram. Similarly, एबे जदि एबे transitive नियम जदि transitive approach को utilize करिबा, we get B is less preferred to D or D, and but A is equivalent indifference to B. That is the symbol is here. This is like this. In this diagram, I get D bundle is at least as good as B bundle, but B bundle is indifference to A bundle. So what is the transitive axiom will indicate? That D bundle will be also at least as good as A bundle. Okay, so that means D bundle is in the higher indifference curve, which is true. Similarly, you can compare C bundle with D bundle. We get D is more preferred to B, but B is indifference to C. Apply transitivity law, that will say D bundle is preferred to C bundle. ଯଦି ଆମେ ଏମିତି transitive ନିୟମ apply ନ କରିବା, ଆମେ directly D C को compare करके we cannot say that D is more preferred to C. କାହିଁକି ନା C ରେ ଅଧିକ X1 ଅଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଇଏ ରେ X2 କମ ଅଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ D ରେ reverse case. D को कम कहबा, although से second good को ଅଧିକ रहउची, କିନ୍ତୁ first good ତ कमी गला ना C अपेक्षा. then ମୁଁ direct comparison କରି ପାରିबिନି. Transitive नियम जदि apply करके ମୁଁ कहि परिबि D is preferred to C. This is the benefit of using transitive axiom. Clear? Sir,
Yes,
madam?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
बुझे
Yes,
ना मैं
ma'am.
केमती जो डायरेक्ट उठी कंपैरिजन हे परिबनी, हमें ट्रांजिटिव कंपैरिजन को पढ़ेगा. जदि एमती देथिबो दीटा पॉइंट दे देला, कंपेयर करो व्हाई दिस बंडल इज प्रिफर टू दिस. इंडिफरेंस कर्व किसी करा ही नथिबो, खाली पॉइंट तीनटा दे देथिबो. ट्रांजिटिव एनालिसिस करबे वे इंक्लूडिंग इटी कोन दीटा एक्सट्रा हम यूज कली. गोटे होची मोनोटोनिसिटी, जे कहला D इज मोर प्रिफर्ड ओवर B, and second होची ट्रांजिटिविटी, जे कहला D प्रिफर्ड ओवर B and B इक्वल टू A, दैट इम्प्लाइज D प्रिफर्ड ओवर A. तीनटा दीटा एक्सट्रा हम यूज कली, मोनोटोनिसिटी and transitive. Clear na dita ru?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then let's go to second one. The indifference map ko the collection of indifference curve is known as indifference map. Like it is the collection of three indifference curves, so we say it is a indifference map. And higher is the indifference curve, higher is the utility. এটা কইবা দরকার না, এটা বেসিক জিনিস শুনতে জানিবে. ও এটা যাওনি বলা. Okay. Properties of indifference curve. First property, that indifference curve is downward sloping. अच्छा केमती प्रूव करबा ता प्रॉपर्टी को प्रूव करिया पे तुमे केवल एक्सियम गुडा को यूज करबो. यदि एक्सियम सैटिस्फाई कला प्रॉपर्टी ठीक अछि, यदि एक्सियम ब्रेक हे गला दिस कैन नॉट बी द प्रॉपर्टी. से कोची प्रेफरेंस से कोची कोन डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग. कोन एटा एक्सियम ता को निकला ना मोनोटोनिसिटी एक्सियम को यूज करबो. अच्छा एटा एक्सप्लेन करबी ना आपण माने एटा बुझुसंती कि पिल्ला माने सर माने मैडम माने एटा मते एक्सप्लेन करबा दरकार ना आपण माने जानचंती.
मैम टिके बुझेई दियंती.
ओके. अच्छा कोची X would a bundle X would a point contains X1, X2, and Y is another bundle that contains Y1, Y2. On the other if both are same indifference curve with y1 is greater than x1 and y2 is also greater than x2. That means y contains more of both commodity than x. Okay, so in that condition যদি ମୁଁ କହିବି এই পয়েন্টটা নেବି y1 is greater than x1 and y2 is greater than x2 তো କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟି ମତେ ଦେଇଦେଲା আর কোন ইন্ডিকেট করছি y বন্ডলে both commodity higher amount ର ଅଛି ତ monotonicity apply କରିକି ମୁଁ কোন କହି ପାରିବି y bundle is preferred over x bundle କହି ପାରିବି ଯଦି y bundle is preferred over x bundle ତ ସେ ଦିଟା ଗୋଟେ ସେମ୍ ଇଣ୍ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ କର୍ଭ ଉପରେ ରହି ପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ କ୍ଲିୟର the same କହିପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ that means indifference cannot be upward sloping for example it's better कि more diagram कर देवी diagram will be more clear yeah okay let ମୁଁ assume करी ମୁଁ reverse assume करछि से कोन कहछि downward sloping let मने गली indifference curve is upward sloping हैला যদি indifference curve is upward sloping যদি true हेतिबो तापर ମୁଁ analysis करबी एठी गोटे point a point नै गली एठी गोटे point so एठी जेमति सार नै x point it is x point and this is y point it is clear that y in this y bundle contains more of both commodity than x x रे this of first commodity and this amount of second commodity किंतु y रे y bundle ले both first and second commodity अधिक amount रो अछि so clearly I can say that y contains more of commodity 1 and 2 than commodity x clear in that condition more is monotonicity by apply that more is preferred here y contains more of both commodity than x applying that I can say that here in this condition if monotonicity axiom is assumed to be applicable here then I can easily say that y bundle is at least as good as x bundle if this is true that implies y and x can't be on same IC but in diagram this statement is broken this statement proved to be wrong clear যদি ডায়াগ্রাম এইটা ভুল কହୁଛି that means above এইটা ବି ভুল হବ এইটা ভুল কাହିଁକି ହବ କାହିଁକି ମୋର ଇଣ୍ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ କର୍ଭ ଟା ଏମିତି ଅପୱାର୍ଡ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଏଇ ଡାଇଗ୍ରାମ ଟା ନେଇଛି ଅପୱାର୍ଡ ସ୍ଲୋପିଂ ନେଇଛି ଏଟା ବି ଭୁଲ ହେଇଗଲା what is the এটা କଣ କହୁଛି that indifference curve is upward sloping তারে ঠিকটা କଣ ହବ indifference curve is downward sloping କ୍ଲିୟର ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ ଚିନ୍ମୟୀ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ କଣ କହୁଥିଲେ ବୋଧେ
ନାଇଁ ମ୍ୟାମ୍
এটা ବୁଝିଲେ ନା এটা କ୍ଲିୟର
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଏଠି ମୁଁ କଣ କଲି ଏଠି ଯାହା ମତେ ପ୍ରୁଭ କରିବାକୁ ଅଛି ମୁଁ ତାର ଅପୋଜିଟ ଆଜ୍ୟୁମ କଲି ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ଟ୍ରୁ ତାପରେ ମୁଁ ଏମିତି ଆଜ୍ୟୁମ କରି ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ଟେପ କୁ ଗଲି ଯେ କି ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଇଏ ମୋନୋଟୋନିସିଟି ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ଟା ବ୍ରେକ୍ ହେଇଯାଉଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ତ କହୁଛି ନା ପ୍ରିଫରେନ୍ସ ଯୋଉ ମୋନୋଟୋନିସିଟି କୁ ଆକ୍ସନ ତ ସାଟିସ୍ଫାଇ କରୁଛି ରେଶନାଲ କନଜ୍ୟୁମର ତ ମୋନୋଟୋନିସିଟି ବ୍ରେକ୍ ହେଇପାରିବନି ତ ଉପର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଗୁଡାକ ବି ବ୍ରେକ୍ ହେଇପାରିବନି ଯୋଉଟା କି ଅଲ୍ଟିମେଟଲି କହୁଛି ମୁଁ କଣ ନେଇଛି ଉପର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଟା କି ଇଣ୍ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ କର୍ଭ ଇଜ ଅପୱାର୍ଡ ସ୍ଲୋପିଂ ତ ସେଟା ବି ଫୁଲ ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇଥିବ तो स्टेटमेंट कौन हम तार रिवर्स टा सेटा ट्रू हम रिवर्स कौन x इज इंडिफरेंस कर्व इज डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग आकोती मेथड ऑफ कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन जोटा प्रूफ करबा कोची ता अपोजिट टा ट्रू नै कि चलिबो लास्ट गोटे वायोलेशन रे पहुंची जिवो यदि वायोलेशन दोची माने मु जे अज्यूम करची र तो ता अपोजिट टा ट्रू आकोती मेथड ऑफ कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन मोस्टली प्रूफ करिया पई मैथ रा को यूज करा जाय सेकंड कोची टू इंडिफरेंस कर्व कैन नॉट क्रॉस ईच अदर here similarly you have to apply the transitive law how to apply the transitive law suppose okay let that same method of contradiction two indifference curve let two indifference curve can contradict it can cross each other this is the case so in this it better analysis by gote 80 जो point gote नेबे suppose this is a point नेले a indifference curve को ठीक vertically ऊपरे आरो indifference curve पर आ गोटे point suppose c point नै जानतो दीटा जोटी क्रॉस करला एठी हमें b point नबा हैला So look, suppose this is IC1 and this is IC2. From IC1 कौन indicate करछि C bundle is indifference to B bundle. Why? Both C and B bundle lie on the same indifference curve that is IC1. Again, from IC2 कौन imply करिवो IC2 will imply that A bundle is indifference to B bundle. Why? Now both A and B are on the same indifference curve. Clear? Now apply my transitive law to this. That is, C is indifference to B and B is indifference to A. That implies transitive axiom says C will be indifference to A, right? But here the monotonicity will be breakdown. What is the more is preferred? Here C contains more commodity than A. Both same amount of first commodity, but second commodity more in C, less in A. According to monotonicity, C should be preferred over A. I get a contradiction here. This will be contradiction according to monotonicity. But according to transitivity, this should be true if two independent curves intersect each other. A contradiction exists. That means my assumption is wrong. What is my assumption? That two independent curves can intersect each other. That means my assumption is wrong. Which reverse will be true. What is the reverse? That two independent curves cannot contradict each other. Clear? अच्छा सर ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଏଇଠୁ ଏତିକି ଆଜି ଷ୍ଟପ୍ କରିବା କି?
ହଁ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଆଜି ଆପଣ ହଁ ବହୁତ ଟାଇମ ହେଇଗଲାଣି 1.5 ଘଣ୍ଟା ପାଖାପାଖି ହେଇଗଲାଣି।
ମତେ କହିଲେ ତ ମତେ ଏଟା ଭଲ ଲାଗେ ପଢେଇ ଚାଲିବେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍
ନା
ପଢିଲେ ଯଦି
ନା
ଲାଭ
ନା
ହବନି ଆମେ ବୁଝି ନ ପାରିବା।
କଣ କହିଲେ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ?
ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଆଜି ଏଇଠିକି ଷ୍ଟପ୍ କରିଦବା କି ଏଇ ଦିଟା ପ୍ରପର୍ଟି ପ୍ରୁଭ୍ କରିକି?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା ଏଟା ବେଷ୍ଟ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଟିକେ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ନେଲେ ହବ କାରଣ
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ
ଅଧିକ
ଆମେ ସ୍ଲୋ
ଧୀରେ
ଯିବା ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଆମେ ସ୍ଲୋ ଯିବା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା ଓକେ ସାର୍ ତ ଆଜି ଏଠିକି ଯାଉ କାଲିଠୁ ମୁଁ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଥାର୍ଡ ପ୍ରପର୍ଟି ପାଖକୁ ଯିବି ଆଉ।
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଯୋଉ ଦିଟା କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଆପଣ ପଚାରିଲେ ମାନେ ଯୋଉଟା ପଢେଇଲେନି କି
ହୁଁ
ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ହାତରେ ବରଂ ହଉ ପଛେ ଲେଖିକି ଖାଲି ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ ରେ ଫଟୋ ଉଠେଇକିନା ଛାଡନ୍ତୁ ଏଙ୍କୁ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡିଂ ଟା କ୍ଲିୟର ଦେଖିବା ଆମେ କିଏ କରିପାରୁଛି।
ସଲ୍ଭ କରିବେ।
ହଁ
ଆଚ୍ଛା ସାର୍ ଠିକ ଅଛି ମୁଁ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଯାହା ପଢେଇଲି ତାକୁ ବେସ୍ କରିକି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଲେଖିକି ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ ରେ ଛାଡି ଦଉଛି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଓକେ ସାର୍ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଏତିକି ଲାଗୁଛି ମତେ ଟିକେ ଅଧଘଣ୍ଟା ଟାଇମ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଲେଖିକି ମୁଁ ଛାଡ଼ିଦେବି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଓକେ ସାର୍ ତ ମୁଁ ରହୁଛି ଆଜି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ମ୍ୟାମ୍।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ଓକେ
ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ
ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ
ମ୍ୟାମ୍। ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ସାର୍।
ୟୁ